When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
And we are very pleased that for this In Transit segment, we have the man, the chairman of the board of the STM, the Montreal Transit Corporation, in studio with it, Allan Caldwell. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be here, and it's, I must say, the only place where I'm called the man.
Well, you know what? Transit is so central to the lives of so many people that I think you are the man in a lot of ways. You're getting people to and from their jobs every day, to and from their friends, to and from, often if I'm taking the metro, it's because I'm coming to an event downtown. So I'm going to a movie or a show or something. So I think you are.
If you allow me, Trudy, interesting data, 800,000 people, 800,000 trips in the metro every day. About 600,000 trips on buses, city buses, and total it's 1.1 million trips per day because some people take the bus and the metro in the same trip. So yeah, a lot of people, a lot of trips are made in Montreal on our system, and a lot of life depends on their ability to go to work, to go to see a friend, or we know we have a big place in Montreal mobility, and we're proud of it.
You had an update, a financial update for us this week. You've announced that you have balanced the books of Montreal Transit, a budget of $1.8 billion for 2025. There will be more spending, and I'm sure people are going to be, pleased to hear this, more spending on security and maintenance in response to safety concerns. But you're also flagging for the future some storm clouds. Tell us why you've issued this warning about problems potentially to come.
Yes, of course. First of all, about the budget, the operating budget. It's my fourth budget. First time I'm able to start the year 2025 saying we'll be able to balance. All the other years there was a struggle along the way. During that struggle, there was a lot of discipline. We've made a tremendous efforts in 2024 this year. We've cut spending, we've cut jobs position in 2024, and that's part of the equation why we have a balanced budget on 2025. I must also acknowledge that the provincial government at the city level and at the regional level, there was more revenues added, so that's why we have a balanced budget. About your question for our infrastructure, the state of the good repairs of the metro, let's face it, we have an old metro. It was built in the 60s, in the 70s, and like every major concrete engineering, civil engineering structure, it needs repair. We have to provide to the metro another 50, 60 year life cycle like the one we just had. And for that, we will need major investment. And I'm making an appeal because we have some money for maintaining an infrastructure. Will we have to do more? Because if not, it might fail us, and it would be a tragedy that our kids won't have the same metros that we have. So it's a call for a bigger investment in our metro, of course, because we need it.
How big?
Well, currently we're spending about $330 million per year maintaining a metro. We think that we would need $560 million as a regular spending over the next decade to be able to do the job correctly. On top of that, we have to replace our old trains. For those of us who are taking the metro, we see often the Azur trains, which are our new trains that were built about 10 years ago, that are fantastic. And we have our 50-year-old trains, MR 73, MR 73, that were delivered in 76, though they will be 50 years in 2 years. So we need to replace them, and that's a major investment. We have to do it before 2036, and we need the funds to do it. So with that 560 million investment on a yearly base and replacing our trains, we would be in business.
The province has not been very open to putting more money into public transit. Do you fear that your appeal will fall on deaf ears there?
Well, let's face all the issues of mobility. You remember about 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, there was a major call of conscience that our road structures were falling apart. There was the Viaduc du Souvenir that collapsed. And at that time, there was a shift in the government strategy. We need to maintain our infrastructure. And we see in this region, in Montreal region, there's Louis H. Lafontaine, there's Turcot that was rebuilt, and there will be the Metropolitan in the future years. So those structures are the same age as the metro, and yes, we have to do the same for the metro. There's more money for new transit development. There's money for the Blue Line extension, and we're very glad on that matter, and we have a good relation with the government extending the metro. And there's new money for other development around all over around the province. So, of course, since we haven't developed our network for 40 years, we have to catch up. So we all want that. But that must not be the investment we're doing in developing our network, must not be an argument to lesser money for maintaining the Metro de Montreal, because the Metro of Montreal, like I was telling you, is very efficient, very performant, 800,000 trips per day. Just for an example, it's twice the 5 bridge of the South Shore added up together. It's about 5 to 6 times what will be the REM when it's completed. The REM, when it will be completed, will be 170 million trips per day, and we have 800,000 trips per day. And the beauty about if we invest in the metro, we will be able to increase the capacity up to 30 and 40% with new system, with reduced intervals between the trains, with new trains, with new data and intelligent operating system. We will increase the comfort, the security, and the capacity of the metro. That's why we have to go forward. If we go forward with a bit of ambition, we will have a better metro for the next 50 or 60 years.
It does seem to me we've had a hint of what might be to come without significant maintenance investment, and what happened in the North End, where a station, actually 3 stations, ended up having to be closed down because of a structural instability flagged as part of the structure of the station, a walkway that was in danger of cracking. So is that not enough of a wake-up call for the province to loosen its purse strings?
That eventment, and I would add last year when the Green Line, we had to close the Green Line just before evening rush hour because there was some cracks in the tunnels between Berry and Saint Laurent, so we had to close the whole Green Line, and at that time there was 90,000 people that couldn't take their metro to go home after work. Yeah, those 2 events, there might always be event. What we see in networks with less maintenance is those events are more and more frequent, and people, when the metro is not reliable, when the metro, there's not fiability of the metro, they tend to take other means of transportation. And the big threat is that we live in Montreal what the New Yorkers lived. In New York, with a lack of maintenance, there was a state of emergency declared, and now these years they're pumping $50 billion in their metro network because it's falling apart. So we don't want to live in Montreal with New Yorkers lived with their metro, where they had to close all whole lines for a few years. We cannot afford that in Montreal.
Thank you very much to Eric Allan Caldwell, Chair of the Board of Directors at the STM. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Trudy.
Appreciate you coming into studio.